Hi everyone, welcome to Battlestar Galactica, and today we're taking a look at the very first Captain Apollo action figure ever made, that by Majestic Studios in 2005. Now, if you were like me as a kid, you probably had some of the Battlestar Galactica 3 3/4 inch action figures by Mattel. I know that I received Lieutenant Starbuck for my birthday in 1979. Now, I was a Starbuck fan, but my hero was Captain Apollo, and I was wondering why he wasn't even on the package. Where was he? And it wasn't until the late 1990s that I had my answer. I was interviewing Richard Hatch at a convention, and I asked him, I said, what happened? You were the star of the show, and Mattel never issued an action figure for you. He blamed Mr. Spock tongue-in-cheek, and I recently did a video on that whole conversation. So if you want to find out why Mattel Toys never came out with a Captain Apollo figure, definitely check out that video. It's a very interesting look into the early days of licensing. So here you have a awesome 5-panel box by Majestic Studios, very sharp graphics. I am not familiar with this photo of Captain Apollo as played by Richard Hatch. I'm not sure where it came from. If you know where this is from, please let me know. Usually Universal Studios, who includes kind of generic photos of the characters in their licensing kit for Classic Galactica, doesn't include something like this that has major, I would say, hard-ass look to it. And it's an awesome photo that I wish we would have seen more of Captain Apollo. The box, again, is really sharp. On the back, there's some nice, information on the Cylon Empire. Now, there was a mistake with this box. It was meant, or rather got confusing for the manufacturer. They mentioned a Cylon Centurion rather than Captain Apollo on the back. And Majestic Studios had to put a sticker over it mentioning that the figure you owned was actually Captain Apollo. I love the graphics. I especially love the photo of the Viper Squadron. I loved that scene as a kid. I could care less how many times it was reused. I just loved it. Again, you're going to see on the side the early prototype with some Cylon Raiders above it, the Galactica. And this box is unique for something that I've never seen in all my years of toy collecting. It's an actual endorsement by the actor who the toy is portraying. And here it is. It's Richard Hatch, endorsing his own action figure. This is very unique. I've never, again, seen anything like this. He talks about the action figure, how happy he is with it. He has a photo of the Cylon that doesn't look complete there on the right. He also mentions the upcoming Commander Adama and Starbuck figures that I believe came out a year later. Now, Richard Hatch, from what I understand, was very happy with this figure, and he actually had one in his car. That is a urban legend that he used to drive around Hollywood and California with his own action figure strapped in the back seat. So if you know anything about that, please let me know. I think it's kind of a funny story. Here you see him in his plastic tray and his accessories. And what's nice about this is that Majestic Studios went the extra mile with the cardboard holder behind the plastic tray. You're going to see it in a second. They basically give a recap of the 3-hour pilot and the air date for it. Pretty nice. They didn't have to do this, and they included 2 awesome graphics on the side. To be honest, I never noticed these graphics until I did this video. I've owned this figure now for over 15 years, and it's the first time I saw this cool image of the Colonial Viper helmet and the Cylon helmet there. Just something nice. They didn't have to do that, and it just shows their commitment to their classic Battlestar Galactica line. They really loved it. Now, the accessories are awesome. You're going to see in a second. They included a generic stand that's even being used by some companies today. The figure is well balanced and stands on its own. You don't need this, but if you want it, you can use it. Here is the portable computer that we saw a lot on the show, especially the 3-hour pilot. Nicely detailed. It fits awesome on his belt. You're going to see that in a second. Here is the detailed Viper helmet. I really love this. I mean, they must have access to an actual prop because this is really nice. Remember, this is 2005. I don't know if they were using computers back then to design the props. This may have been, the accessories. This might have been hand sculpted by someone for this action figure. It fits really, really nice. Here is the Warrior Blaster. This is awesome. I mean, they, again, must have had access to a prop. This is so detailed. It looks real. Look at that. Just nice. Here is his belt with his recharge blaster cartridges. The blaster holder there, really, really nice. A look at his well-tailored pants. The Colonial Warrior boots. Again, Majestic Studios didn't have to add this detailed. Back then, a lot of the higher end figures were missing details like this, but they went the extra mile and had the little paint on it, the silver used for the toe of the boat, really, really nice. And here he is. Now, back then, unlike today, where you could get any high-end 12-inch scale body off the shelf from any manufacturer in China, Majestic Studios was forced to produce their own 12-inch body. And they did a pretty good job. Again, this is 2005, and you can get this figure in a lot of different poses. He can twist and turn. He has a crunch in his stomach, so he can sit in a Viper if you wanted to build him a 1/6 scale Viper. He can twist, he can turn, he can sit, he can bend at the elbows, the forearms. Now, he doesn't come with any extra hands like most figures do today, but the hands that he have work really well. They hold the accessories, particularly well. The head can turn back and forth. It doesn't have any tilt to it, or rather not much of a tilt. The uniform, again, is well tailored. It's really detailed. I just love the way they did the buckles, the insignia, the pants. It just is a great figure. Again, this is 2005, and that's considered vintage today. So don't look at it as if this is something that you can buy off of, Amazon, a Hot Toys figure for $200. Think of this as a vintage figure that came out in 2005 for basically $40. Just an amazing piece. And Majestic Studios really needs to be commended. No one else was doing anything like this at the time, and they really went to bat for classic Battlestar Galactica. So whoever is watching, if you were involved with the company, thank you very, very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel. There are very, very few Galactica-related channels out there. We need to stick together. And I really, really do appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel recently. It means a lot to me. Please give it a thumbs up. That really helps. I will see you in the next episode, and have a great Galactica day, everyone.